Hi, hi. What's up, what's up? We are exploring more of the Taste of Paste, checking out their Best of the Decade tag, looking at these lists. It's not like I have any particular affinity for this magazine or expect that their tastes are going to line up all that well with mine. It's more just that they have put out a lot of these lists already, and I'm very, very eager to look at end of decade lists just because I think it's really fun and exciting. So we're just gonna plunge medium by medium into their picks. We're gonna check out novels this time. This is one where I have a whole lot of passion for the medium. I love reading. I read quite a lot. But I don't go out of my way to kind of keep up with books. I don't really read new books all that often. It's more that I'll go back to classics, not just from before this decade, but before this millennium. Um, so I don't know. Pace Staff tends to read fantasy and literary fiction. Oh, excuse me. Um, Obviously subjective. Okay, of course. But again, it looks like it's just a consolidated list, purely statistically based on the list of the contributors, I think. That's how they've been doing other lists, which, again, is kind of disappointing. Okay, Flight Behavior by Barbara Kingslover. I've heard of her before. Kingsolver? Kingslover? No, Kingsolver. Uh, I think my mom read this one. Maybe. I've heard of this one at least. Okay. One of the most complex stories about the people in the land they inhabit you'll ever read. Interesting. Okay, sure. Sudden Death by... I don't know if I've heard of this person at all. This was their first novel to be translated into English. Okay. Hmm. Yes, I haven't heard of any of this. I wish they would show like his influences or something, like what he kind of sounds right. His novel belongs to Planck-Planck's quantum universe rather than the relativistic universe of Albert Einstein. What? Why are you describing the book like this? This seems really weird to me. First off, we're in both universes. It's not like you choose one or the other. I mean, right now we kind of have to when we're doing physics because there's no unified theory, but it's the same universe. Uh, sort of. The particles that are created and destroyed in the same act. Are they talking about virtual particles? Well, whatever. Okay. Well, this sounds kind of fun. Yeah, talking about tennis, painting, sure. Uh, Unique twist on the English language version. Huh, okay, well that's kind of fun. Yeah, let's put this on, we'll make another list. Paste books. Okay. The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I know who Neil Gaiman is. I haven't read any of his stuff. I'm just kind of familiar with all of it. Seems quite well liked. Sure. Exit West. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Sounds... Ooh, these doors have supernatural powers, by the way. Okay, I don't know. Maybe. Do I know anything about this person? I don't think I've ever heard of them. Moth Smoke? I like that name. That's a cool name. The Reluctant Fundamentalist. How to get filthy rich in rising Asia. Um... Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Alright, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Am I really going to read like any of these books? I have other sources of book recommendation that I think trump the Paste magazine list, unfortunately. So something like this where it's like, well, that sounds kind of interesting. This I've tried to read. Like, I read a bit of it because people kept talking about it, and there was like a movie being made of it, and I really, really don't like the way this guy writes. I think his writing voice is not very compatible with what I want to read, I guess. So, yeah, no. Untamed State by Roxanne Gay. Have I heard of this person? I don't think so. Difficult women or hunger. Interesting. Okay. Oh, maybe. Okay. Who Fears Death by this person? All of her fiction is worth reading, even her Star Wars short story. Interesting. Gosh, okay. Sounds pretty intense. Fantasy, I guess. What belongs to you? I haven't heard of this either. I don't think I've heard of this person either. Sure. Sounds quite intense. 12 Lives of Samuel Howley. Good Thief. I haven't heard of this either. Well, that's kind of cute. I like that. Sure. Hank Green. That's like the wait, is it? Okay, who's the guy that does like those young adult novels, The Fault in Our Stars and Paper Towns and the other ones? Is that Hank Green? I haven't read any of those. I just am aware of them. Oh, that's his brother. His brother made those books. Yeah, Looking for Alaska. Yeah, I've like heard of all of these pretty much. I know vaguely what they're about. I don't know why I don't know. I probably should just read one because they're pretty short, I would think, because they're for young adults. So I'm quite curious. Like the plot summaries always sound pretty crazy and intense, and they're quite well regarded among the people who like them. Like he kind of has a cult following. So this is his brother, and yeah, they have this YouTube channel, which I've never watched, but I know it's quite popular. An absolutely remarkable thing. Huh. Wish I had an older brother that had a book deal, and then I just got a book deal. No, I'm sure it's fine. Puzzle-filled adventure for you. So is this another young adult novel? I guess I could have tried to infer it from this page. Speculative fiction. Oh, okay, well, it seems kind of fun. I don't know. Huh. I'm less inclined to take art and artists for granted going forward. What? Does Paste editor Alexis Gunderson need to watch Lindsay Alice's The Whole Plate and de-sympathize themselves towards Michael Bay's Transformers? Alright, well, whatever. Let's move on. Elizabeth McCracken. What a name. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that sounds kind of fun. For some reason, this reminds me a lot of a Dowman Sayman kind of plot. This sounds like a manga that he would write. Okay. First novel in 18 years. What other novels? What? Oh, maybe this isn't a novel. Yeah, short story collection. Niagara Falls all over again. That sounds kind of hungry. Or what? That sounds kind of familiar. I think I am hungry. That's weird. I think I'm literally just hungry, and then I said hungry. That's crazy. This sounds kind of familiar. I must know something about this. Aro Kwan. Well, it's their debut novel, so I guess it's not like I knew about her past work. Indoctrinated into a cult on her campus. Whoa, this is like a plot that I've been trying to use for a story for a long, long time. I guess it's not really that notable or whatever. I just wanted to write some sort of story that involved that kind of thing. But it's hard to get the right tone, that you want the cult to be kind of intriguing and unique and have kind of weird gimmicks and stuff to them. But at the same time, you don't want to feel like you're trivializing the actual horror that is cult recruitment and cult abduction and stuff. So it's kind of hard to strike that balance, you know? Like you really risk, I think, feeling like you're trivializing struggles that people have already had. Americana. Sure, seems interesting. Poppy War, I've never heard of this either. Well, how many books on here have I heard of so far? This one? I've heard of this author, and I've heard of this author. Wow, we're doing terrible. Gosh. Yeesh, okay. It seems pretty heavy. Sure? Few young talents who exceeded her initial promise with each subsequent release. Well, where are the subsequent releases? Maybe they're going to be even higher on the list. What other stuff has she written? A Year of... Oh, I've heard of this. I've heard of this. Yeah. This one seemed quite intriguing to me. I heard some pretty good things about it. I think I'll maybe read it. People were comparing it to The Bell Jar, which is a novel that has really haunted me for pretty much my entire life since I read it. So if it carries that same sort of weight, set in New York City as well, it's going to, yeah, definitely be worth a read. Interesting. Death in Her Hands. I guess this isn't out yet. Okay. The Sympathizer. This is the exact same name a friend of mine has. I'm fairly certain he did not write this. It's just an extremely common name from Vietnam. Interesting. Seems like it could be good. Spy novel, forbidden love story, cultural comedy, and immigrant's tale. Yeah, okay. Never heard of this either. Okay. Seems nice. Fine. Girl is a half-form thing. I've heard of that. And oh, they said it. They said it. They evoked Joyce. Okay, we're gonna put this on the list. I haven't been really putting anything on the list. Just because, I don't know. Like, I really do have to acknowledge, like, my to-read list is so long. Unless something really jumps out to me here, I know that it's not going to kind of insert itself any higher on that list. And that many other sources of book recommendation I'm going to prioritize. But they said Joycean, so I have to read it. I have to read it, and then I probably have to complain a lot about, call this Joycean? Really? Girl is a half-form thing. I have heard of that, though. I don't remember in what context. Okay, so that's something. Boy, Snow, Bird. Interesting. Okay. Sure. So is it like fantasy, I guess? Or is it more kind of like a literary Romana Clef sort of thing? This person sounds kind of familiar. The Opposite House. I don't know. The Destroyers. Sounds sort of familiar? I don't know. Or am I just thinking of the musical artist Destroyer? Hey, Kate Atkinson. Okay, my mom loves Kate Atkinson. I believe she said before that Behind the Scenes at the Museum is like her favorite novel. So, you know, I have a lot of respect for her, even though I haven't actually read her works yet. I think there's a lot going on here. There must be. I think my mom is reading this one right now, and she says it's very confusing. Yeah, like it's just jumping around in time and space a whole lot, and she has no idea how these plots are going to connect yet. I think she's read this one and liked it. I don't know. But yeah, this is the one that she really recommends. So check it out. If so far I haven't really given any book recommendations on this list because I have no idea what's going on. But if you want to leap behind a generation and instead get a recommendation from my mom, check out Behind the Scenes at the Museum. Yeah. The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. This name sounds quite familiar. Epic fantasy. Oh, the King Killer Chronicle. I think I've heard of this. I think I end up hearing about fantasy like kind of more often than I hear about a lot of other literary genres, just because I'm always around nerds and nerds are always talking about fantasy authors. So yeah, I think I've heard of this. The Name of the Wind. I don't know. I really don't read very much fantasy at all though, so this is pretty much lost on me. Okay. Oh, Zadie Smith. I know Zadie Smith. I don't know this book though. Swing Time. Hmm. Yeah, I really like the kind of voice of her prose. I think her conversational prose, yeah, is a good way to put it. Very fun, and yet you can kind of segue into more serious topics so fluidly. Yeah, okay, sure. Family life. 7,000. It took 12 excruciating years to live. Right. Just released the full 7K. That's what I want to see. I like a nice long book that I can not read and feel better about not reading it because it's so long. um, I also like, I don't know, just kind of almost the performance art inherent in making a book that long, that you've devoted yourself to writing something this crazy long, and that even someone who reads it almost engages in a sort of performance art of spending so much of their time just locked into this one book, into this one other world that someone else made. The sort of intimacy of bond between the reader and writer of extremely long books, I think, is almost wholly unique in any medium. Hmm. Well, sounds quite intense, but yeah. The Night Circus by Aaron Morgenstern. This name kind of sounds familiar. Maybe they've written a book I've heard of before. The Starless Sea. No, I guess I haven't heard of that. It's not even out. The name sounds familiar, though. Hmm. Okay, alright. Sure. Oh, this I think I might have heard of. Maybe? I don't know. The cover looks familiar. Maybe I've just seen it in a store. It's surprising that, like, even the ones I haven't heard of, I would have thought that I would have just seen them in a bookstore at some point, because I go to bookstores quite a bit. So I don't know if they're actually choosing some kind of like obscure type stuff, which would be kind of cool, you know? I don't know. For some reason, based on Pace's other lists, I didn't expect them to go like super deep into this category, that these would mostly be like bestsellers, things in the New York Review of Books, things that have won awards. Looks like quite a lot of them are national bestseller, #1 bestseller. Some of them are for sure. I guess it's that I just don't really keep up with that either. That like it doesn't even penetrate my awareness still. This is quite revealing. I'm feeling a little embarrassed, I'll be honest. I gotta get a little more informed, I guess. The Water Dancer. No idea about any of this. Little Fires Everywhere. Nope, it's news to me as well. I like that name a lot, though. Little fires everywhere. That's quite haunting and staring. Okay. Oh, Wolf and a White Van by John Darnell. I actually have been meaning to read this. I've got it on my Kindle. Maybe after I finish Ducks. Oh my god, if they put Ducks on this list, okay, what are the books I've actually read? We're closing in on the top 10. So let's try to think about what could be on this list. What books have I read that have come out in the last 10 years? Oh gosh. There must be some. The First Bad Man by Miranda July. I quite like that. I could see that on a list such as this. Ducks, Newburyport, which I'm reading right now, but it just came out earlier this year, and probably most of the people who are making this list wouldn't have even had the amount of raw chronological time to read it, because it's so friggin' long. Likewise, No Scard's My Struggle, I read, but it was extremely long as well. I don't know if it's going to make an appearance, and if it does, I don't know if they're going to just choose one book, or if they can count the whole My Struggle series as one. Well, what else have I read that came out this decade? There must be some. What the heck? There must be some. I don't know. I guess we'll just see. If I make my own list for this list, then I can figure out what the heck I've actually read. But yeah, I really want to read this, mostly because John Darnell is also performs as the Mountain Goats, which is kind of a depressing folk band I really like. Especially some of their older albums. Tallahassee, All Hail West Texas, We Shall All Be Healed, The Sunset Tree, Get Lonely. This run, to me, is like pretty friggin' fantastic. I haven't listened to a lot of his newer albums. I think the last one I listened to a lot was Heretic Pride, which I remember having some songs I really, really liked. Yeah, but now he's a writer. Now he's writing all sorts of stuff. I knew that this book came out, and then there's another one called Universal Harvester, which sounds quite interesting too. Yeah, that sounds cool. And this one, I really don't know what it's about. I don't kind of want to read this summary because it sounds quite interesting to just dive into it blind and see what's going on. But I'm happy to see it so far up on the list. That's pretty cool. Brandon Sanderson is the Wheel of Time guy, right? I think? No, that guy's dead. Wait, isn't he dead? Yeah, Wheel of Time. Wait, what? Oh, he finished Robert Jo. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, I gotta like actually read better instead of just name. How am I supposed to read any of these books if all I'm doing is like, oh, there's the name. Yes, this confirms the exact complex thought I have about what I should find on this page. This is like another guy. I have heard of this guy too, though. I just got it mixed up which one started and which one finished. Mistborn. I've heard of this. I've heard this is like really, really good. That if I want to read some fantasy, I should read this, but honestly, that's probably not going to happen. Okay. Sing Unburied Sing. Never ever heard of it. We're in the top 10. Yeesh. Sounds very intense. Has this person written anything else I've heard of? No. Wow, I am so ignorant. Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. Oh! Whoa, wait a minute. How do I find this out? I think... No, that was a different book. Ooh, it just has a similar cover. I was at a hostel in Japan, and there was a big, thick novel there that I started flipping through. And I thought it was this one for a second. But it's just like another cover that looks kind of like this. I think it was called... No, this is a band. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was this. It's not really that similar. It just is kind of blue and has star imagery. No, I'm pretty sure it was this. Because I had heard of this before. I knew it had won the Man Booker Prize or something. Yeah, I won the Man Booker Prize. And then I was like, ooh, I can see what this is about. And then I started flipping through it, and of course, you're not going to really be able to do all that much. Just randomly flipping through a book while eating breakfast at a hostel, but such is my experience with not even this book, so why am I even talking about it? The Leavers by Lisa Ko. No idea. My gosh. How am I this ignorant? The 5th season. Damn, I love this title. What? I was gonna use this title. I was gonna use the title just 5th season. I think the is a little much. And I got it from this album, which I think is just a fantastic album. 10 out of 10 album. Please listen to it. And I thought the title was just so haunting and beautiful and just stirs the imagination so much. If we needed a 5th season, and then it's broken into 5 tracks, sorry, and the 5th track represents this kind of fabled, hypothetical 5th season. Anyways, I don't know what the heck this is, but gloriously intense family drama and includes one of the most phenomenal magic systems ever created. What is this? Final Fantasy VII? Whoa. Final Fantasy VII doesn't really have that much of family drama, though. There's like Barrett and her daughter, and I guess Cloud could be considered family with Zack, sort of. I don't know, but certainly one of the most phenomenal magic systems ever created. Okay. Swamplandia. I've heard of this. I've heard of this in a context that actually does make me really, really want to read it, which is that I'm part of the David Foster Wallace mailing list, and sometimes they talk about other books that have come out recently. And this one sounded really, really fun. Yeah, this sounds so much fun. I kind of forgot about this one. I gotta make a point to actually read this at some point. It sounds so silly. Oh, I've heard of this too. I read an interview with a guy, this guy, George Saunders, about this book. It seems kind of interesting. It's all set in this kind of liminal space between life and death. The Bardo. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll read this? I don't know. Probably not. Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff. Oh, this sounds kind of interesting. I don't know. Have I ever heard of this person before? No. Delicate edible birds. Maybe? I'll put it on the list. It's so high on this list. It's number 4. Only 3 novels in the last 10 years have been better. So I better read it. I can't make any predictions. I have no idea. I know I'd like to see ducks. I'd like to see No Scarred, but I don't realistically think that's gonna happen. What? Oh my gosh, what other books have I read? I have Homegoing? No idea. I have no idea. My gosh. How am I this out of touch? This is sad. Toni Morrison. There's someone I've heard of. My gosh. We're grasping at names mentioned in write-ups now. That's the best we can do. Circ by Madeline Miller. Sure, that's kind of cool. I mean, that's one of my favorite chapters in Ulysses by James Joyce, is Circ, the chapter that's written like a play. So I guess I have to read this because we managed to connect it to Joyce. Put it on the list. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, number 1. What the heck could it be? If it's No Scarred, I'm gonna freak out, but I really doubt it. And I have no idea like what else could even be in consideration. The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. Well, I have no idea. I mean, I know what the Underground Railroad is, but I've never heard of this novel, so... Okay, Alright, so we read this list, and it made me feel like an ignoramus. How many had I heard of? 1, 2, 3. I mean, like, there's some that I'm like, oh, I think I've seen this, but it's not like I've actually heard anything about it. 4. Uh, 5. I've heard of 5 of these specific novels, and then a few other where I'd heard of the author. That's not good. That's not good. I've neglected one of my favorite mediums. I guess? I don't know. Maybe if I found another list, I would have heard of all of them. Alright. I've actually read 0 of these, which is, I guess, the real thing. It doesn't really matter how many you've heard of. It's how many you've actually experienced. Which is 0, so that's pretty bad. I think of all of these, the one I'm most likely to read is Swamplandia. Just because of the context in which I've heard of it. It sounds really just charming and wonderful and really interesting and intense. Yeah. Yeah, alright. Let's give up. We're just gonna give up on books. Dead medium. I'll read more manga. Goodbye.